Hey everyone, it's Katherine
and Amy,
and today we're doing a video on our top 10 ballet pet peeves.
Hope you enjoy! So our first pet peeve is
when people mock you. Okay, honestly, this bothers me so much when people go just like, oh, is this what you do? And I'm just like, no, it bothers me so much.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're gonna have to deal with this whenever you are, wherever, and people are never really going to take you seriously, but if you know that you work hard and ballet is actually really hard, that's all that really matters. You don't have to take their opinion into consideration.
People are gonna do it everywhere. There's always gonna be someone who's like, oh, you just flounce around tutus all day, and ballet isn't serious, it's not hard. But you just gotta kind of push them away and be like, you know what, I know that we don't just flounce around in tutus all day, and we don't turn like this. I know that that's not like that, so you just kind of gotta tell yourself that and ignore them. So our number 2 pet peeve is
when people think they're all that and better than everyone else. This is really annoying because it's distracting for those of us who actually want to learn and improve during a class, and plus it's just really annoying when people are full of themselves.
It's people that are full of themselves, they can't progress and get better because you think you're already at the top, and you can't get better than you already are. You're just kind of wasting your time if you think you're better than everyone else, because you're not improving, you're not getting any better. So it's a waste of your time to be doing class if you think you're better than everyone else and you think you're at the top. You can't have that mindset to be be good and learn.
Exactly. So usually what happens to these people is they find out that they're not as good as they thought they were, and then they end up learning their lesson. But until then, you just kind of have to deal with them.
Yeah, you just kind of have to ignore them and ignore them. Yeah, basically.
So our number 3 pet peeve is
when people show off in class and do more than a combination asks, like doing a triple when a teacher asks for a single. So you don't want to do this because the teacher is asking for you to do something for a specific reason. If they're asking you to do a 45-degree leg, don't do a 90 because they want you to do that 45-degree leg because maybe they have technique issues that you need to work on and you need to do a lower leg to help you work on that.
Plus, you always want to do the combination exactly as the teacher asks. For example, if you're in an audition and you don't do it right, they're going to be watching you and they're going to see that you can't do a combination as they ask you to do it.
And that counts towards a lot of auditions. They really watch you to make sure that you can do the combination right, and that's a big thing that they care about. If you're not doing the combination right, you're kind of disobeying the teacher because they're asking for something and you're not giving it to them. So our 4th pet peeve is
when people are not properly dressed for class. So for example, if you have messy hair, if you have huge holes in your tights, stuff like that.
Ripped shoes, ripped toes in the shoes.
I mean, it's understandable, if it happens for one class, your
or
shoes
2
ripped,
or 3,
and you haven't gotten a chance, but if you're consistently showing up to class and you're not prepared and your attire is ripped or dirty or whatever, that's disrespectful to the teacher because you came to learn, and you can't learn in the type of atmosphere where it's okay to be not properly dressed. Also,
wearing the wrong color leotard on a certain day, if you're asked to wear a black leotard for your class, don't wear a green one. That's not, you can't do that. Don't do that. That's disrespecting the teacher and what they asked for.
Exactly. And if your hair is messy, you have pins flying everywhere, that's distracting to the other kids.
And it's dangerous. You could hit someone and seriously hurt them, especially with pins, because they can be sharp on ends, and you could seriously hurt someone if you hit them.
So just try to be properly dressed for class. Obviously, there could be a small hole in your tights, whatever, but don't have a huge rip down the front. That's just not okay. Our 5th pet peeve is
when people suck up to teachers. And there's a difference between sucking up and being polite or doing the combination ass or doing the right thing. There's a difference. So sucking up is overly polite or overly doing something, like raising your hand every time they ask for something, always going to the front and being like, I'm here, like, don't do that. Like, teachers don't always, like, most teachers will just be like, ignore it, or be like, this isn't fair to other students if I treat them better. So they kind of ignore it, but some teachers really don't like it, and they can get kind of mad at you if you do it. And sucking up to a teacher isn't going to get you a better role. They're going to do it based on your ability and not how much you suck up to them or how polite you are to them. And they're going to do it based on how well you dance and how your technique is.
So just don't suck up to people. Like, that's, like, just don't do it. It's not going to help you, and it's pretty annoying to the other students and also to the teacher.
So our sixth pet peeve is
when people brag. Now, you've probably had this experience where someone comes up to you and starts talking about all these new leotards they got, all the summer intensives they got into, and they're just, like, constantly bragging about that to you.
This is, like, really annoying. People don't like when you're constantly saying, oh, look at my leotard. Oh, did you see my new leotard? Oh, don't you like my new leotard? It doesn't make people want to be friends with you. Like, people don't like when you brag. So, don't do it. There's nothing really to, like, say about it. Like, just don't do it. People, they're not going to want to hang out with you if you're bragging. And it can make them feel bad, too. Like, maybe they can't get this new Yumiko that you got. Maybe they can't afford it. Like, it's not going to make them feel good about themselves. Or maybe you got into all these summer intensives. Like, don't say, oh, I got into all these summer intensives that I auditioned for. What about you? Like, that's not going to make them feel good. Because maybe they didn't get into all the other summer intensives. And then they're going to be, like, down about themselves. And that's, like, the last thing you want to happen is someone to feel down about themselves because of you.
Mm-hmm. And, like, you might feel better about yourself if you're, like, constantly, like, saying that you're better than people, but, like, it doesn't make you a good person. Like, it just makes you a bad person. So if you really want to be, like, a friend and feel good about yourself, then go be nice.
So our eighth pet peeve is
when people sit out and they aren't actually injured. So I don't know if it happens at your studio, but sometimes someone will be like, oh, I'm hurt, and, like, they'll go sit down, and it really doesn't look like they're hurt at all.
And they're just doing it to, like, sit out of class because they don't like the teacher, or they don't want to do class that day. And, like, that's not the right mentality. Like, even if you don't want to, like, dance that day, you need to be there. You're committing to this sport. You need to be giving your all to it. It doesn't matter if you're feeling down that day. You need to go with it. You just need to do it. You can't sit out. And it makes it worse. Like, I really hate this when people get up again to do, like, Ronde Allegro because they want to do Ronde Allegro, but they didn't do Petit Allegro. It's like, so you can't do Petit Allegro, but you can do Ronde Allegro? Like, A, that's not right. Like, you can't do that. And B, like, that's a way to injure yourself because you're not warmed up and you're going to go jump, like, not warming up. That's a really bad way to actually injure yourself.
Exactly. So please don't do this because, like, it's just not the right mindset for you to have. If you don't like this, then don't do it. And if you do like this, then don't sit out when you're not injured.
And teachers really don't like when you do this. Like, this really bothers teachers. And it makes teachers think that you don't really care about ballet. And they're not going to help you and help you progress if they think you don't care about ballet. So the thing is, don't sit out if you're not hurt.
Our ninth pet peeve is
when people say they can't do something and then they go and do it. So this is like when someone says, I can't turn today, and then they go out and do 6 turns. This is really frustrating for most people because maybe they can't do 6 turns like any day, like even on their good days. And so if I'm doing 2 turns and you're doing 6 and say you can't do anything, how does that make me feel? That makes me feel bad about myself and like I'm not good. Like that makes me feel down and that doesn't make other people feel good.
These people are usually just looking for attention. Like they want people to say that to them. No, you are a good turner, and like that's
Look
just
at that.
annoying.
You can do 6 turns. Like it makes people feel like I get it makes some people like feel better about themselves, like having people acknowledge that they're good. but it doesn't make other people feel good, and it's really annoying to like have people doing that. So our 10th and final pet peeve is
when people are consistently late or consistently missing class. So I know that I've like missed some classes and been late to some classes, but like if you're doing this all the time, that's not an appropriate way to act. Like you need to be committed. You can't just like come to the classes that you want to come to and like miss others, especially if it's not a very important event for you to go to that you're missing class for.
So this tells teachers that you don't care about ballet and that you're like just doing it and you don't really care about it. And this makes teachers not want to teach you. Like they don't want to teach you if they don't think you care.
Okay, so also if you have a rehearsal for a piece during class and you're always missing that class, how are you going to know the piece? Like you're not going to know it.
How are other people going to know
ready
the
for the show?
spacing? The spacing is really hard for others to work with when you're not there. Like, they don't know where you're going to be in this. They don't know if they're going to run into you. And then if you're there, like, on the day before the performance, everything's going to have to change, and it's going to be a mess. Also, if you're consistently missing class or you're late, you're missing something that you should be getting to help you progress. And you're not working. And you need that to, like, progress and get further and get better.
So just don't miss class or be late. Obviously, it's going to happen sometimes, but, like, don't have it happen consistently.
So we hope you enjoyed our video, and leave your biggest pet peeves down in the comments below.
If you have any video requests for us, leave them down in the comments, email us, or tweet us.
Keep dancing, and we'll see you in our next video.